Alright, so today we're starting the video off a little different. I've got some of the reptiles packed up because I'm going to the Morenci Bulldogs Junior High and talking to the 8th graders about reptiles. So let's get into it. Okay, so I'm back from the school. I took a GoPro with me, but unfortunately it was a dead GoPro, so no footage there. So what I thought I would do is to because I'd like to still make this video, how about I just show you guys the reptiles that I brought along with me and let you guys see and kind of explain why I chose the animals I did. We'll just go ahead with this girl right here, which is the Russian tortoise. She is one of them that I brought along with me because there's always a turtle tortoise fan in the group. I mean, how could you not like them, especially when they have a head that looks like ET. So they always bring at least one of the tortoises with me. She seems to be a little bit more comfortable with the interaction than the male. The male he hisses a lot more and, you know, kind of tucks himself into his shell, so he's a lot, you know, he's more timid than what she is. So, and she's bigger, so I tend to bring her along. And let's see, let's get out. Of course, I bring along the albino ball python because, you know, it's the 3rd largest snake that I own. So, and the big snakes always get everybody's attention. So I went ahead and brought her along with me. So this is the albino boa, and ball python, and she is super friendly. You know, when my daughter was 2 years old is when I purchased this snake, and you know, she has been holding it ever since. This, I mean, besides it's a ball python, you know, they rarely do get one that has a nasty attitude, so most time they're just extremely shy. But you know, she does pretty good with the crowds, so she's always a fan favorite. Of course, you can't have one yellow snake without bringing the other one. Come on, big girl. Come on, it's okay. So then the other one, of course, I gotta bring this girl here, which is hard to get her all into camera. This is the albino boa constrictor, and of course she always comes along because, well, she is the biggest snake I have in my collection. And you know, she's super calm, super mellow, and just a great ambassador animal for the large snakes. So we'll go ahead and put her back. Now, come on. Now typically I would bring the pine snake with me, but he was in shed today, and he is grumpy. Not that he bites or anything, but he displays a disposition that he's not happy to be messed with. So I don't force. You know, it takes a lot for an animal to be exposed to, you know, a crowd of many. You know, so if I see that they're not quite up for it, they don't go along that day. It's all based on how they feel. And today just was his off day, and he didn't feel like being messed with, so we left him at home. Let's see, what else did I bring along with me? Oh yeah, of course I brought Blu-ray. Come on, fella. Went ahead and brought Blu-ray. Of course, he's always a favorite. I mean, how can you not with that great big old blue tongue? You gonna show us? You gonna show us? You're gonna hiss. Will you show us the tongue? No? Nah, he ain't gonna show us. Of course not. There, there he goes. So of course I brought the blue tongue. You know, definitely a favorite. You know, I would actually like to get a few more of these just because they have such a great personality, that I think having multiple of them in the show would just be, you know, a nice positive thing for the crowd. So there's Blu-ray. He got to go along. I didn't take the Savannah monitor just because, you know, we're still working out our relationship, and he's still very skittish about being handled. And you know, we've been slowly working on getting him to feed off the tongue, so that way he will learn to trust me. I didn't bring the leopard gecko just because it's small. It's hard to show that. So I didn't bring him. Let's see, I got the 2 milk snakes. So I brought along, let's see, I brought along the Cinnalone milk, just because he's you know, very pretty and you know, very easy to get, you know, handleable and great personality. And of course, it was the debut for my shows for the Nelsons, which he is going into shed, so his colors are not near as bright. But what I like to illustrate is, you know, this is, excuse me, this is why they're 2 different milk snakes. They're, you know, they're typically similar in appearance. So, you know, you see this, and this is what it would, excuse me again, this is what it would look like if it were albinoism. So I like to bring these 2 along, and you know, these bright colored snakes, you know, they always, you know, always get attention. They always start conversation because, you know, people want to know if they're poisonous. You know, so that opens up that whole conversation. So yeah, so I always like to bring the colorful snakes as well. I didn't bring any of the corn snakes this time, only because it was going to be a shorter show, not near as long, so I didn't bring near as many animals as I typically would. Of course, it just all depends on, you know, what's going on. So I do believe that was it. Oh no, it's not. Let me we gotta go around that way. So I brought the scaleless rat snake, which is one of my favorites in the collection. Just kind of give them that, to show a little bit of an oddity other than just a color mutation. You know, I think it's just fascinating. And again, it you know, offers a lot for conversation. So yeah, I just like to bring them along. And then of course, down there in the bottom cage is the legless lizard, Lieutenant Dan. And I'm not going to get him out. He's a little hard to find sometimes because he likes to burrow into that substrate. And I don't always like to just reach in there and you know, yank him from that, because, you know, part of him digging in is to feel secure. And if I constantly pull him up out of the substrate, obviously he's not going to feel secure. So we're not going to pull him out at this instant because I see that he's not really in sight, and I do believe he is hiding. So so that was the animals I brought along with me to, you know, to the school today. And for some of you subscribers that are new, you know, you might not know that I've done this, but you know, I like to do these animal presentations. We can look up here on the wall, and I can show you a little bit more why I do it. All right, so the educational program, this is why I do it. This is several news articles where I was front page, and what's important for me is not that I get fame, but that people see positive headlines about reptiles. So you know, I go around, for some of you who are new subscribers, you know, I go around to all kinds of locations, churches, schools, libraries. If you go back in the videos, you'll see where I actually was at a fire station. The town had me come in for their little festival, and you know, they pulled out their fire trucks and had me set up a booth or a table in the fire station, and you know, for the public to come in, and so I could talk to them. So this is why I do it. I do it to help shed or give these animals a little bit more realistic view. You know, because a lot of times the media likes to just make these things look like they're very dangerous animals, and you know, we should all fear them and kill them. And I like to give people that positive experience, because that positive experience, that's going to help change people's misconceptions on these animals. So that's why I do it. That's why I enjoy doing it. It's kind of the reason why I stopped breeding, was to focus more on things like this, doing educational stuff. So that's why I do it. And I like to share that with you guys. I hope that I may inspire one or two of you to also take your reptile knowledge to the public. Now, you don't have to be all-knowing. I think one of the GoPros is done charging. You don't have to be all-knowing. Like I tell people, like, I'm not an expert, but I have experience. So, and I have a passion, and I want to share this stuff. And when people ask me questions, and if I don't know the answer, that's just one more thing for me to to educate myself on. So while I'm teaching them, they're teaching me. So it's a great fun opportunity. And if you do decide to share your animals with the public and different public settings, just always remember that you got to make sure that that your animals can handle the public, because you never want to you don't want to take an animal that may stress out under a public situation, and may act out in such a way that not only defeats the purpose of what you're doing, and that's trying to give these animals a good light, but it may actually backfire and make more people scared. So it might make people more scared. And so if you do it, make sure you do it responsibly. Make sure that your animals are up to the task. Make sure you're up to the task as far as you got good handling skills and things like that. And it's very fun, rewarding, and I absolutely enjoy doing it. Not just showing my animals to you guys on YouTube, but to the rest of the world. So yeah, it was a great. And so I think that's going to be it for this video. And if you have any questions, comments, leave them down below, and I'll do my best to answer them. So until next time, later.
Shut up and sit down.